And with election results coming in from across Arizona and the rest of the country. Thanks for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Mark Curtis.
I'm Troy Hayden. Voters in Maricopa County asked to increase taxes to fund hospitals, schools, and cities, and there are different results depending on the race.
All right, so let's start with Prop 409 here in the Valley. Voters were asked to approve, $900 million for Valleywise Health. And tonight, this race, as you can see, is too close to call. Prop 409 is leading, but just by about 10,000 votes.
Of all the school bond elections tonight, none were as closely watched as the Tolleson Union High School District. Voters in that district right now appear to be rejecting that bond proposal soundly. You remember there's some controversy here. Tolleson loaned money to another school district that was struggling, and there is also a plan for an $80 million domed football stadium in this district. And right now, voters are saying no.
And we're also closely watching the Mesa City Council recall election, where incumbent Julie Spilsbury is currently losing her bid to keep her seat. Turning Point back candidate Dorian Taylor leading by 5 points right now.
12 News journalist Chasko Lively's been following this race. You spoke with a very emotional Julie Spilsbury earlier this evening, actually weeping on the air.
Troy, that's right. As soon as those initial results came out, the crowd fell silent, and Julie Spilsbury became very emotional with the results. She knew that this was a real possibility going into tonight, saying that she wasn't just going against her opponent, Dorian Taylor. She was going against Turning Point USA. Now, this is an incredibly unique special election. Yeah, Julie Spilsbury, who won her re-election just last year with 65% of the vote, now it appears that she's lost her seat to Taylor, who has never held a political office before, but does have ties to Turning Point USA, which played a very big role in getting her to the finishing line in tonight's election. Now, earlier today, before those initial results came out, we did speak with Taylor as she was greeting voters at one of the polling locations as they were turning in their ballots about this whole process. And she told me, yes, Turning Point was a key player in her election, bringing in several volunteers to help knock on doors. Some were paid to help. Taylor had way more volunteers and signs compared to Spilsbury, telling me she couldn't have done this without Turning Point. As for what she plans to do first if she wins, this is what she had to say.
Communication. I want to send out a newsletter to District 2 right away and let them know after I've aggregated all the information. Okay, here's what I came into. This is what we have going on in District 2 and in Mesa. Here's the budget allocated to it. And here's what I see coming down the pipeline. So you have an idea of where I'm going to need you to vote, right? Like this, I'm going to need to know, what do you want, yes or no? So that's, to me, it's communication is key.
Now, in downtown Mesa, Spilsbury did hold a watch party that we were there. And again, once those initial results came out, Spilsbury became very emotional, shedding many tears along with her constituents who were also there that night. Again, she knew this would be challenging, but she said she didn't lose to Dorian Taylor. She lost to Turning Point USA, saying there was no way she could compete with them.
I've done a dang good job on the city council for the last 5 years. I care deeply about this city and about people. I don't care if you have an R or a D after your name. I want every single person in our city to feel seen, to feel heard, to feel like they belong in our community. And I'm really worried that with a group like this, we're going to have one group of our population represented in my district, and that's not okay.
Now let's talk a little bit about how this recall effort got started. The person who filed the petition said it was the way that Spilsbury was voting on certain issues here in Mesa. Now keep in mind, some of those votes were unanimous with the city council members. But what it really came down to was Spilsbury's support of Vice President Kamala Harris and not President Donald Trump. Spilsbury says that she is a Republican, but decided to put her support behind Kamala Harris. And again, that is really what cost her seat. When I asked her if she regrets making that decision, she said no. Her whole point of this election was representing both sides of the aisle here in Mesa, not wanting to make this a political, partisan race. She just wanted to focus on all sorts of constituents. And again, that's what may have ended up costing her seat. Now, as for what happens next, if Dorian Taylor has the majority of the votes, once this election is finalized and canvassed, Taylor will take over the remaining term of Spilsbury, which will be until 2029. So it's almost as if this goes through, it's almost as if Taylor won that 2024 election, because again, if this all goes through, she will hold that seat until 2029. We're live in Mesa tonight. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Yeah, you don't often see candidates, show their emotions that way in live interviews. And then Dorian Taylor had the Turning Point she was almost branded by Turning Point on her signs. Like she was a Turning Point branded candidate almost.
Definitely. I mean, when you look at the majority of the signs, they all have that Turning Point USA logo. And again, she said they just really played a key role in getting those volunteers out to go and knock on doors. She also did say that she did have all other volunteers that lived here in Mesa that did just want to come out and support her as a candidate. But you really can't deny how big of a role Turning Point had in this election.
Yeah, and I bet we're going to see more of those Turning Point branded candidates coming up in this next election. Chase, thank you. You can find more election results for the races in your area by going to 12news.com. We'll have more on tonight's results on Today in AZ, and that starts bright and early tomorrow morning, 4:26 a.m.